So, hello everyone, and welcome. We are here in the present moment, for better or worse, and we're going to be looking at these Zen Teachings for a New Age. That's the title of the YouTube Live. What we're actually going to be doing is continuing where we left off in this story of the monk and the prince, looking at these very deep, profound, kind of spiritual wisdom teachings. But as we are just opening up the space, as we're just going live and all starting to show up here on the Discord, we can take a few moments to get settled in, both for ourselves, take a few moments for ourselves to get comfortable and find ourselves here in this space. And also, there may be people coming from different background or different time schedule, different place in the world. So taking a few moments to let everyone who wants to be here show up and participate and be here at this moment. All right, so people joining the Discord. I see Nino, Roxy, Adisa, Phil, Disk is here, Mantis, Sam Hain, Zuyi, Ben. Wonderful. And if you're joining us through the YouTube channel, make sure that you say hello. You can give us a greeting over on YouTube so we know that you're here. Drew, Anushka, Aaliyah, Jess is here, and Karan.
Hello.
Hello, Usman. And Mantis, Solomon, Jasper is here. Okay, everyone's invited. If you're here in the Discord, especially, you're invited to share your camera. Moss is over on YouTube. Who would have thought? And Kumar and Jess, DCful, over on the YouTube channel, joining us. And Sam Hain, I can see you there. Nice to see you. Shayan. Sumen, Amanda over on YouTube. People from different places around the world. This is really great, really wonderful. Divine is here. Jonathan is here using Chinese characters with a heart. How nice that is. Good morning, Tabitha. So we are about to get started. And if you are one of those people who happen to be looking through the TikTok, please come over to the YouTube channel. You just need to search for my name, Bante Varapanyo, and you will find us gathered together on YouTube. That is the right way to watch, okay? If you want to really join for this class, for this event, this gathering. TikTok is not the right place to watch and to join. Okay, so let's do this. Okay. So, welcome everyone. I'm glad that you've all chosen to be here. Today we are going to be continuing with a reading from an ancient Zen master in China. And the story started with this Zen master, okay, this enlightened master in ancient China. It's a real kind of story, a real record from this these old days in China. This Zen master looked from his temple where he lived over to a mountain, and he kind of looked over there and said, there must got a feeling there must be a certain kind of skillful person, a wise person over there, a person who has the potential for enlightenment over on this mountain. So the Zen master left his temple, went over to this mountain, and came across this temple on the mountain and said, I'm looking for a person of the way. I'm looking for a person who really gets it. I'm looking for a person who really understands it. And the monk who was living on the mountain temple said, there's a monk up in the cave, up further in the mountain. He doesn't bow to people. He doesn't stand to people when they come to see him. He just kind of ignores them. Is this not, he must really get it. He's living in this cave and, kind of practicing and living in this weird kind of way, this special way. So he must get it. Go and see him. So the master said, okay, I will, the master went quickly up the mountain to find this monk. So the master finds this monk, and they have some dialogue, they have some interaction. And at first, the monk, the one who's living on the mountain, is kind of skeptical. He sees this. He sees a lot of people who come to see him, and most of them aren't enlightened. Most of them aren't wise. But through a couple interactions, the monk living in the mountain realizes that this is a real Zen master who has come to see him. Okay? So from that point on, they have an interaction where the Zen master basically shows this monk living in the cave that they still have attachments, that they still haven't quite gotten it yet. And so the monk in this mountain then says, okay, please teach me, please guide me. And the Zen master gives a lecture, and this monk kind of gets it. So once this monk gets it, kind of becomes enlightened, we go further along the story, and this monk who received this wisdom from the Zen master gets a lot of responsibility, builds their own temple, finds themselves to be responsible for hundreds and hundreds of monks at their own monastery, their own temple that they now run later in the future. And then we get to this point of the monk being face to face with a prince. And so this prince, which is where we left off our reading yesterday, this prince is asking question after question after question. And the Zen master is kind of trying to say to that prince, look, don't get attached to appearances. Don't get stuck on words and phrases. Don't get stuck in shallow thinking. Like, come off it. Wake up. Get with it. The Zen master is trying to explain this to the prince many, many, many times. And actually the master is very compassionate in that no matter how many times he explains to this prince the truth or tries to help him to let go of what he's holding on to, the prince keeps asking questions. And actually in our reading today, it was a little bit, yesterday, it was a little bit abrasive. It was a little bit difficult to deal with this prince, because he kept asking these very intellectual, convoluted, concocted kind of questions that came from attachment. So it's difficult to kind of get through that, I found, reading through it. But now we've kind of come to the end of this interaction, and we're going to continue our reading, seeing kind of what's come out of this. Where does this interaction come to an end? What's the lesson here? Where does it go? So we're going to continue with our Zen reading today, the deep Zen teachings today. Please be aware that you might not have the cultural or experiential background to understand everything in the way that you would like to understand it. that's fine. We're not here to get attached to anything. We're not here to hold on to any idea or fixed perspective or fixed notion. But rather, we're here to let go. We're here to be aware. And so the practice of listening to these very deep Zen teachings is also a practice of meditation. It's a practice of breathing and being aware. It's a practice of listening from the heart, listening from the breath. There's a Zen teaching that if you want to really get it, you need to see with your ears. You need to hear with your eyes. Otherwise, you wouldn't have a chance to understand. So we listen like this. We try like this. Okay? Sound good for everyone? Are we all on the same page to begin this deep Zen teachings together? We all on the same page? Nino offers a bow. Okay. Don't give up easily. Okay? Let's open up to this experience. So the master said to the student, when one contemplates mind, no. Okay, so the prince said, after this long line of questioning, this long line of the prince asking all these questions to the Zen master, and the Zen master replying, and the prince just didn't get it and kept asking these intellectual questions, these questions that came from attachment, okay? So this is what the prince eventually comes down to say after this long line of questioning, exhausting, miserable. The prince said, I have been disciplining my mind for a long time in pursuit of that which is most fundamental. Since my approach is wrong, I have taken my subsequent experience of primal delusion as the ultimate reality. You hear this? So this prince is interested in spirituality, interested in meditation, interested in these deeper truths, but they've approached it in the wrong way. That is, that they have approached it from a place of attachment. They've approached it from a place of the intellect. They've approached it from this place of words and phrases. So after this great compassionate care and wisdom that this master is offering to this prince to answer these questions and kind of take the poison out of the mouth, to take whatever that prince is holding on to and put that down, the prince eventually says this. The prince said, I have been disciplining my mind for a long time in pursuit of that which is most fundamental. Since my approach is wrong, I have taken my experiences up to now of primal delusion as the ultimate reality. So maybe we can all kind of relate to this. We have taken our delusions, our attachments, our stories about ourselves, our stories about the world, our familiarity with our habit of desire or fear as the ultimate reality. Our beliefs about ourselves, our beliefs about other people, we have taken them as the ultimate reality. Unless I have a great wise teacher to help me, this truth will not be made clear to my mind. May I beg you, the great master, to open for me the essential gate of truth. Please guide me, your devotee, so that I shall not again deviate from the correct path. So now this prince who's just been asking these convoluted, complicated, self-fixated, attached questions, these intellectual questions again and again and again, and the masters had to kind of walk him down from this place and this way of thinking. Now the prince finally says, unless I have kind of come across this great teacher or this experience, this teachings, And unless I have a great wise teacher to help me moving forward, I'm not going to be able to understand this. I'm not really going to be able to get it. And everything that I've had up until now that I thought was the truth was delusion. Now, this doesn't mean we need to seek this kind of teacher, but the prince found himself in this situation and now says, okay, can you instruct me? Now is actually ready to receive. Now the cup is open, the cup is empty. So there's the prince is, can you teach me? Can you guide me? How do I do it? What is it? Please guide me. The master replied, the ultimate essence of things is what is most fundamental. But in the realm of illusion, it becomes different from what it is. The nature of reality is invisible and cannot be understood by our rational mind. Today, I met someone confused by the way, confused by this path, but sympathetic towards all people. Because of the doubt in his mind, he raises all kinds of questions. Grasp the ultimate truth, and you will be absolutely illumined within. When you thoroughly understand the subtle path of life and death, you will not fear slander, nor seek praise. I, as an old monk, have replied to many different questions that you raised. Let my teachings on the ultimate truth and its manifestations be my gift to you for your visit here. To discover the remedies with which to save people, you must act in accordance with the nature of things. So what is the ultimate essence of things?
Is it impermanence?
What's that?
Oh no, you weren't asking. Sorry. I was just gonna say impermanence.
Okay, so that's Samhain, isn't it? Samhain
Yes,
to
sorry.
Suke. So Samhain says maybe this ultimate nature of things, this ultimate nature of the ultimate essence of things is impermanence, is in fact their impermanence. Okay, I like that a lot. Sounds nice. Thank you, Samhain. And I think it's a that brings an interesting point that when we usually think about things, when we usually think about experiences in our life, it's kind of what we can get from them, what we like about them, or what we don't like about them. It's our we kind of immediately get stuck on the appearance of those things. But what Samhain Suke said here was that the nature of these things is actually their temporariness, their impermanence. And that's also, I had something like that in my mind about no thing. So maybe that the ultimate essence of things is no thing. Not nothing in terms of rejection, but there's no thing. There's no particular thing. Rather, that things carry with them the truth of impermanence. Whatever comes up, whatever is experienced, goes away, changes. And I think that brings to my mind about the way, right? The way of reality rather than the this thing, that thing, getting stuck, getting trapped, but the way itself. Anyone else have an answer to this question of, okay, the ultimate essence of things is what is most fundamental. So what is the ultimate essence of things? And I think, just to say, I think just getting this kind of interest in the ultimate has a certain kind of value, because it's not like what can I believe in, or what, what's going to work, or what I can use. There's no I in it, but it's this curiosity about what is at the core, what is at the essence, what is fundamental to all at this moment. And that's a real inviting point, right? It's a real, it's a hook can take you a long way. So just that kind of curiosity, that looking, that questioning of what is the ultimate nature of things? What is the ultimate nature of phenomena, of experience? Not just I like this, I don't like that. Not just, a story about myself, a story about other people. But what's at the heart of it? What's at the core of everything? We have a few answers on the YouTube. Um, Aaliyah said to let go. Amanda said just being. DC Full said let go and acceptance of all. Divine said knowingness, awareness. High said nothing lasts. Aaliyah, nothing really matters. Anyone here in the Discord have an answer to this? Another feeling or idea about this?
Um, the ultimate nature might be to be experienced.
The ultimate nature of things might be to be experienced. Could you say more about that?
Well, we cannot like the um, impermanent nature of things is. I really agree with what Sam has said, but I also thought that you can't have something impermanent without experiencing it first.
Well, are trees permanent if you don't see them? If you don't climb them?
I suppose so.
I have a question, if it's okay.
Okay, floor is open.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Nino.
So, how do we know that we actually can see or perceive or even think about an ultimate nature? Because in some types of philosophy, they talk about glasses or goggles or something that we view different things in different perspectives and words, etc. How do we know that when we let go and are quiet? How do we know that that experience is an ultimate form of nature and not just the ultimate form of nature for humans, etc.?
It's not really about what is absolutely true for an alien, or what is absolutely true for an animal, but it's the essence of all things. Can you know about it? Most people don't. Most people are looking at TikTok and eating Reese's Puffs. So most people won't. But your capacity to know about it is your willingness to look, to be interested, to be curious. And if you want to find, any bowl of cereal can be a barrier for you to get involved in that looking or that interest. You don't need to question or be curious about the ultimate nature of things, the ultimate nature of reality. There's no need for you to do that. But what we're talking about here is maybe the look, the willingness to look, the curiosity to know about it. What is the nature of things anyway? What does that mean? That's the questioning. So it doesn't matter if I can know it or you can know it or an animal can know it. It's kind of what is it? What is this that we're talking about anyway?
I think I understand. Thank you for the explanation.
I'm going to share again this last line. So the master replied to the prince, "The ultimate essence of things is what is most fundamental." So not the things, but the essence of those things. The wisdom within the wisdom, the mind within the mind. But in the realm of illusion, it becomes different from what it is. So maybe that we get stuck on appearances in this realm of illusion, this realm of attachment. The nature of reality is invisible and cannot be understood by our rational mind. So if you are trying to understand it with your rational mind, you're not going to understand it. You're not going to get it. You're going to be lost in the weeds. Whatever your rational mind brings to it is not it, fundamentally. So to abandon the rational mind, to let go of it, to not be fixated on it. Today I met someone confused by the way, by the Tao, but sympathetic toward all people. So maybe a good-hearted person who is confused. Because of the doubt in his mind, he raises all kinds of questions. You think it's somewhere outside, right? We think we're going to find this truth, this reality. It's somewhere in our mind. It's somewhere in our thinking. It's somewhere outside of this present moment, this enlightenment, this essence of things, this absolute nature of things. We think it's got to be something else. It couldn't be this. So we can say, today I met someone confused by the way, but good-hearted. Because of the doubt in their mind, they raise all kinds of questions. Grasp the ultimate truth, and you will be absolutely illumined within. Everything will become apparent. Everything will become clear. When you thoroughly understand the subtle path of life and death, we can say the subtle path of birth and death, the subtle path of arising and passing away. Goes back to what Sam Hain talked about, this impermanence at the essence of things, right? So this subtle path of birth and death, this subtle truth of arising and passing away. Not someone, not something, not this story, not this movie. The movie things are fake. The movie is fake. James Bond is a fraud. Who's the most recent James Bond? Can anyone say?
Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig. Okay. It's a fraud. Okay. Will Smith is a fraud. So this is something we talked about recently. Will Myth. Someone gave the name Will Myth. Okay. So this is the question, why are we so taken in? What? Why are we so deceived by Daniel Craig and James Bond and Will Smith and whatever movie he happens to be in or whatever Oscar, event he's taking part in, right? Why are we so taken in? Why are we so deceived? We're not completely out of our minds, right? We're involved in meditation or involved in trying to live a good life some way, balanced and based in some way, grounded. And yet these movies just deceive us. We believe in them. We fall into them. Readily, easily available for us to fall into it when it's completely fraudulent. Right? It's completely fake. Every aspect, and modern movies, some of the biggest modern movies that are coming out, there's not even, the visual things aren't even real. They're simulated. CGI. Right? It's not and then the actors who are in that, and it doesn't, whatever it is, they're just acting, they're just, they're not being authentic, are in a green screen space. They don't even know what's around, so it's, and yet we're so taken in. We're so caught up in this someone, this something. So the master said, the ultimate essence of things is what is most fundamental, rather than the appearances, okay? The ultimate essence is what is most fundamental. But in the realm of illusion, it becomes different from what it is. So in the realm of illusion, we fall into this realm of illusion, right? When we watch a movie, it's just one way to understand it. We watch a movie, we fall into this realm of illusion, and then it is different from what it is. We're deceived. We're confused. We're in this state of it being different from what it is, not seeing clearly. And we're easily deceived like that. We're easy to fall into that realm of illusion. The nature of reality is invisible and cannot be understood by our rational minds. Today, I met someone confused by the way, on the path but confused on the path, but sympathetic towards all people. So a good person, a caring person. But because of the doubt in their mind, they raise all kinds of questions. Reach out, grasp, show up to, grasp the ultimate truth, and you will be absolutely illumined within. There will be no question that you need to seek outside to get an answer to. Grasp the ultimate truth, and you will be absolutely illumined within, brightened within, cleared within. When you thoroughly understand the subtle path of life and death, this subtle path of arising and passing away, life and death, moment by moment, you will not fear slander nor seek praise. I, as an old monk, have replied to many different questions that you raised. Let my teachings on the ultimate truth and its manifestations be my gift to you for your visit here. To discover the remedies with which to save people, you must act in accordance with the nature of things, the nature of reality rather than the appearances. To discover the remedies with which to save people, to discover the skillful ways with which to end suffering, to release suffering, you must act in accordance with the nature of things, rather than their appearances. In the first year of the Zen Teachings period, 656 to 660, this is ending our story of this monk, this person, this person who lived. In the first year of the Zen Teachings period, 656 to 660, the local magistrate, Xiao Yongshan, invited our monk, Fa Yung, to move to the Qianchu monastery to stay, and the master could not refuse. So a kind of a high-powered local official invited, and so the master could not refuse. Therefore, he bestowed the Dharma seal upon his head monk. So he gave this kind of authorization of this monk has an understanding that is authoritative and similar to mine. They can teach, they can guide, etc. Qi Yan, and ordered that it be handed down to the generations to follow. So ordered his student to teach, to continue the tradition. When Fa Yun, our protagonist, that monk who lived on the mountain who didn't quite get it, but this Zen master came and inspire him and clear up the situation for him, said, don't attach to Buddha, don't attach to enlightenment, don't attach to anything. And then answered all these questions for the prince. When he was leaving the mountain, when Fa Yun was leaving the mountain, he told his disciples that he would not be coming back. Birds and animals cried for months. In front of the temple, 4 great paulownia trees suddenly withered away in the middle of the summer. Master Fa Yung died at the Qianchu monastery on the 23rd day of the first month of the second year of the Zen Teachings period, 657. He was then 64 years old. This was 41 years after he had been ordained as a monk. 4 days later, he was buried in Mount Qilong. More than 10,000 people took part in his funeral service. His old residence in the Nito Mountain and the springs of Chun, Qinyuan, Huapo, and Xichang, the Qingkui and other pools, and the rock cave in which he meditated are all still well kept, even to this day. So if we cannot look outside of ourselves, if we cannot find the truth in some idea, some story, if we cannot find the truth, if we cannot find our freedom in getting something or getting rid of something, then where are we going to find it? Where are we going to find this ultimate essence of things if it's not contained in words and phrases? Where are we going to find this ultimate truth?
During one of my recent deep meditations that were about, this one might have been the 3 hour one. At the 2 hour mark, I usually hit the 2 hour mark, I kind of feel like I'm insane. And it just feels like it's an absolute struggle to just sit there. And I know I'm not doing anything intensive, but like there's just a crushing weight that sometimes feels like it's there. And there was a phrase that I found that really helps me, and it's, what is meditation without the label? That's all. Thank you.
What is meditation without the label? What is the path without the goal? What is the meditation without the label? We have
I
some.
wanted to share something,
All right,
if that's
Roxy,
okay. And
go ahead.
I hope that you all can hear me because I'm not usually in this Discord, so I'm just trying to figure out how it all works. I don't know that I completely get it, but I hope that it's relevant. As you're talking, I keep having a picture come to mind. I was out in the rain the other day, and I was watching the rain fall and I could see the raindrops. And then there was this moment where the raindrop fell into a puddle, and it was obviously no longer a raindrop. It was indiscernible from what I thought it was. And it was now part of this larger thing. And I can't quite grasp what I'm trying to get at, but for just a fleeting moment, when you were talking about illusion and just the nature of things, I felt like there was something there where the reality of what I thought I knew of, oh, it's raining and this is a raindrop, disappeared. And for just a moment, it just was. I mean, the raindrop was still there and the puddle was there and it was all there. And I don't know that I can convey what I'm getting at, but I just, as you were talking, that was the picture that kept coming to my mind. So I just wanted to share that. Thank you.
Thank you, Roxy. Glad that you're here. So we have a couple comments that people left here in the Discord I want to share. Usman said, to let go. It is like the dream, which is experience. But the moment you get attached to any of the experience, you get stuck in the dream and thus suffer. Okay, so don't get stuck and you won't suffer. Don't get attached and you won't suffer. Thank you, Usman. Natty Bird said, do not get stuck on labels, whether it is good, bad, positive, negative, permanent, or dissolvable. Don't get caught up in all of it. Let it all go and be in the moment. Experience what is happening now. Within ourselves, we keep the curiosity and explore. That's nice. Thank you. And we also have a few comments on the Reddit here. Lib is God says everything is nothing, nothing is everything. Okay. And Arib says, I feel the same way when I consider Zen. I forget that it too is part of the play. Okay, so maybe bringing attention to what the Zen master originally instructed our Fa Yung about, right? The Zen master went over to that mountain and found Fa Yung in this very deep, special meditation. Talk about 3 hours, 3 years living in a cave, right? Very, right? Very deep, very profound meditation. And the Zen master comes up and says, I came here to see you. I came here to meet you. And there's this mutual recognition, and the monk, Fa Yung, in this deep meditation is like, okay, I'll show you around. I'll give you a place where you can stay. You can take a rest. And then when they go for a walk like this, the Zen master who's come to meet Fa Yung, this monk living in the mountain, deep meditation, staying in deep meditation, the Zen master, when they see some animals, puts his hands up. And Fa Yung says, oh, look at that. You still have this attachment. You're caught in it. You're caught in fear or something. And the Zen master says, what did you see? And the monk, Fa Yung, he's sincere enough to not reply, to be quiet. After that, they come back to the cave where the Fa Yung is sitting in this deep meditation on a rock, and he finds that the Zen master has written the character for Buddha, the character for enlightenment in the traditional Chinese, on that rock. And Fa Yung says, whoa, is taken aback, because you can't sit on the Buddha. This is like the highest level of enlightenment. This is what the Buddha represents. So you can't sit on that. And then the Zen master says, see, you're still attached. You're still stuck on this idea of enlightenment. You're still stuck on this idea of getting it. You're still stuck on the Buddha. So at that point, the Fa Yung said, okay, please instruct me. Please guide me. And the Zen master gave a dissertation, gave some of these teachings. So don't get stuck on anything, right? The Zen master said, all systems of the Buddhist teaching, all the ways to enlightenment, center in mind, where immeasurable treasures originate. So all of these immeasurable treasures that we can experience originating from our mind, originating from this awareness itself at the present moment. All hindrances, all difficulties are originally non-existent. There is no enlightenment to search for. The Great Way is formless and boundless. It is free from thought and anxiety. There is nothing lacking in you, and you yourself are no different from Buddha. There is no way of achieving Buddhahood, there is no way of achieving enlightenment other than letting your mind be free to be itself. You should not contemplate, nor should you purify your mind. Let there be no craving or hatred, and have no anxiety or fear. Be boundless and absolutely free from all conditions. Be free to go in any direction you like. Do not act to do good, nor to pursue evil. Whether you walk or stay, sit or lay down, and whatever you see happen to you, all are the wonderful activity of the great enlightenment. It is all joy, free from anxiety. It is called Buddha. So let's take a few moments to sit with this and be with this together. And if something comes up, if someone has something meaningful that they want to share or ask about during this time, it's okay. You can speak up, but prioritizing this opening, prioritizing this not getting stuck on anything, not really knowing anything, but just really showing up, really being here in this space at this time without being stuck or fixated in any way, without falling into relying on words and phrases, relying on a story to be here, to experience here at this moment. Don't give up or run away easily. You spend your whole life running around, chasing around, going to this place and to that. Every experience is an excuse to run that place, to run this place. No goal, no expectation, no special way of doing things, but to be here, to be aware. The mind within the mind. Who is the one sitting here? We'll finish our session together today with some Zen poetry from another mountain monk, a hermit monk, who was to stay on the mountain for 20, 30 years in ancient China. A friend of seclusion arrives at my gate. We greet and pardon our lack of decorum. A mane of white hair, more or less tied. A monk robe gathered loosely around embers of leaves. At the end of the night, howl of a gibbon announcing the dawn. Sitting on cushions wrapped in quilts. Words forgotten, we finally meet. A 100 years pass by in a flash. How many think this through? If what you're doing right now isn't clear, the edge between life and death is sheer. Stitches on a monk's robe are a loving wife's tears. Jade grains of rice are an old farmer's fat. Don't think who gives receives no reward. A fruit forms in time where there is a seed. "100 years pass by in a flash. How many think this through? If what you're doing right now isn't clear, the edge between life and death is sheer." Sharp. Stitches on a monk's robe are a loving wife's tears. Jade grains of rice are an old farmer's fat. Don't think who gives receives no reward. A fruit forms in time where there is a seed. This body lasts about as long as a bubble. May as well let it go. Things don't often go as we wish. Who can step back doesn't worry. We blossom and fade like flowers. We gather and part like clouds. I stopped thinking about the world a long time ago. Relaxing all day in a teetering hut. Okay, we can all bring our hands together. And we can repeat after me a few words of metta. May any and all benefits or wisdom that I have gotten from this practice be given up, let go of, and shared with all beings. May any and all benefits, wisdom, or blessings that I have gotten from this practice be let go of, given up, and shared with all beings. Whatever I get, may I share with all beings. May all beings be happy and free. May all beings be free from suffering. May all beings find the way. May it be so. May it be so. May it really be so. Okay, we all can offer a deep bow. Bow to each other, bowing to our own practice, all right? Thank you all for being here and participating. Daily sessions at 10 a.m. and 8 p.m. New York City time. And this Friday, we're going to be starting our Buddha Book Club. It's going to be quite intense, but also quite wonderful. Looking at this book on using our mindfulness, using our meditation to deal with and to heal trauma. So I would invite you to purchase the book if you like to, if you are able to, but we also will have a free copy available in the Discord server. Okay? Thank you all for being here. See you again soon. Buddha Book Club, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Okay? Goodbye. Everyone on YouTube, don't forget to like, don't forget to share and subscribe if you think that it is valuable and important. You can give a like, you can share. And if you need a copy of the book to follow along with us just on YouTube, send me an email, rd4th@gmail.com, or send me a message, whatever it might be. I'll also put the title of the book in this place right here on the YouTube live chat. You don't need to join the Discord to join us. I know it can be difficult to do that, but you can follow us through the YouTube, through the live session. Okay? Thank you all. Gus, hi, everyone. So happy you're here. All right?